Good morning, love bugs. It's Trey Moon Goddess, and today's video is going to be about self-love and mental slavery. And as promised, this video is coming slightly after the full moon. However, I still have the full moon energy fully flowing through me. So the reason that I wanted to kind of attach mental slavery into this topic of self-love is because I've been seeing a lot on Twitter lately about men not loving women and women not loving men, and it's bothering me. And so it really stems a lot from the love that both men and women have or don't have for themselves as to why they're having these feelings about members of the opposite sex. And so today I'm going to talk about self-love and what self-love is, and then I'm going to talk about how just being mentally enslaved and mentally programmed by society is affecting how you view yourself and how you view others. And so I hope that everyone who is subscribed to my website took the time to download and complete my self-love workbook. I'm going to be referencing that a lot. I actually took the time to do it myself. I do not ask people to do things that I would not do myself, or that I have not done myself, or that I would not do for myself. And so before I did this video, I wanted to actually take the time and sit and do the workbook myself, just to see, self-check-in as to how I feel about love and self-love and beauty and those things. And so the first thing that the workbook asks is, what is your definition of love? And to me, love is the unconditional acceptance of yourself and others. Love is not trying to change a person to fit a certain mold or your expectations, but accepting them for who they are. And I know you might be saying right now, well, Mama Moon, aren't you trying to change us? And the answer is no, I'm not trying to change you. I want you to change yourselves. However, don't want you to change yourself to fit in to society, or to fit into a certain mold, or to fit into how someone thinks you should be. I want you to change yourself so that you actually free yourself to be the person who you are. I want you to be simply yourself. And not only do I want you to be yourself, but I want you to fall in love with that person, and not the representative of that person, not the person that you put on when you walk out the door, not the person that you sometimes have to put on when you go to work around other people, but your true self. And to me, that is what love is all about. It's loving yourself, your authentic self, and loving someone else for exactly who they are, and not who you want them to be, or who you think they should be, or the potential that you see in them, but who they are. Simply loving them just because. There's nothing attached to it. There is no condition. I love you because you do something for me. I love you because you're cute. I love you because the sex is good. I love you because of something else that follows that. Nothing should follow that because, except for a period. I love you because, end. And to me, that is what love is really about, and not all of these extra stipulations that we like to put on what love is. And so the second question that comes up in my workbook is, well, where does your beliefs about love originate from? Like, is it something that you've seen in movies? Is it something that you've read in books? Is it your parents? Is it your grandparents? Is it, a TV show? For a lot of people, especially in my generation and maybe the generation before mine, like, their definition of love, or their relationship goals, as they like to call them, it was the Huxtables. Like, Heathcliff and Claire Huxtable was like, that just everything that love and family and everything should embody. And so, when they went out looking for relationships, and when they went out looking for their husband and their wives, and their idea of what family was, if they didn't have that example at home, then Heathcliff and Claire Huxtable was that model for them. And I don't know. That was never the case for me. Don't get me wrong. I love The Cosby Show. I love Heathcliff and Claire Huxtable. But to me, it was TV, and I didn't believe that I could actually have something that was on TV, because if I could, then I would see it in my everyday environment and not on the television. So when I was younger, I held TV to like this high esteem, and so that was never relationship goals for me. It was a beautiful display of love. However, that's not, where my influence came from. And so on the workbook, I wrote that my current beliefs about love originate from within. Different people along the way have helped to reshape my definition of love, but ultimately it comes from the knowledge of how I want others to treat me. As a person who is gifted, I haven't always been accepted for who and what I am. So that influenced me to love myself and set the love that I give myself as an expectation of the love that I would give to others. Even if I don't receive it back, I know that it's okay, because I can give it to myself, so I don't have to have it from other people. I don't need someone else to love me. I desire it. I want them to love me, but it's not an inherent need, because it's a need that I fulfill for myself. And I think that my biggest influence on my definition of love is my grandmother. She has taught me the most about the freedom that love grants, and has modeled what love should look like throughout my entire life. And this is especially true when I look back at my grandmother now. My grandmother's married. She's in her third marriage. She's been married. I'm 34 years old. I would say she's been married at least 30 years, maybe a little bit longer, to the same person. The person that she's married to, the family doesn't really care for him. And regardless of what our family thinks about him, regardless of how our family views how he treats her, she loves him unconditionally. She has an understanding of him that a lot of us do not have. And I know you're thinking, oh no, your grandmother's in this abusive relationship and you're trying to rationalize it or normalize it. And no, that's not it. A lot of what we do as people is we sit outside of a relationship and we judge that relationship from the outside looking in. And so we don't truly know what's going on inside of that relationship, or why these people are together, or why it works. And so we pass these judgments based on the outside looking in, and just no. And so while our family doesn't care for him, and doesn't care for his personality, and doesn't care for how he is as a person, that's not for us. That is for my grandmother. That is why my grandmother is married to him and has been married to him for, 30 plus years, because she does understand his personality. She does understand, his quirks and how he thinks and why he does the things that he do and everything else. And so it works for her. And because it works for her, I'm okay with that. I am happy for her. I want her to be happy. And that's the ultimate goal. And so by her not necessarily caving into the wants and the desires of the family for her to leave him, and by her standing her ground and standing by her feelings and standing by her love for him, like, that has been a model for me. Just to show, like, what unconditional love and what love really is. Accepting a person for who they are, regardless of what others may think or what others may say. As long as someone is not being abusive, physically, verbally, emotionally, mentally abusive to someone else, then it's not your business. Like, on some real shit, is what somebody does in their relationship is not your business. And as long as the love is there and as long as it's for them, then be happy for them. And again, that's another example of love, just being happy for someone else who is happy. Just loving them. Like, seeing other people in love makes me in love, because it's just love multiplying. And so that is kind of how, my grandmother influenced my definition of love and models what love really is. And so the next question that comes up in the workbook then is, what is self-love? And self-love is the unconditional acceptance of you. It is being okay with who and what you are. It is not striving to fit into the mold of society, but striving to be you. It is having self-confidence in spite of all of your flaws, and it is allowing yourself to be human. Self-love and self-confidence go hand in hand. The more love that you have for yourself, the more confidence that you will have in yourself. And the more confidence that you have in yourself, the more that you will love yourself. It's a cycle. They feed each other. But notice I said that self-love is the unconditional acceptance of self. I accept me just because, period. I accept me for who and what I am. I don't strive to fit in to anyone else's mold. I don't strive to be anyone else. I only strive to be me. My only competition is myself. I work to accept all parts of myself. That is self-love. That is self-acceptance. That is self-confidence. Loving everything about yourself. The good, the bad, the ugly. That is what self-love is. And so the next question that comes up then is, where does your beliefs about self-love originate from? And my beliefs about self-love originate from seeing other women, especially Black women, be themselves, unapologetically themselves. Seeing other women embrace themselves, their flaws, their size, their sexuality, their sensuality, all of it, it gave me the courage to do so. It let me know that I was not different or I was not as different as I thought I was. I was not as alone as I thought I was. And if she can be herself and he can be himself, then I can be myself too. And that really, really motivated me to be vulnerable with myself. It allowed me to be vulnerable with you all. It really gave me just that extra push to be myself and to be okay with myself. I've always known I was different. I've always known I didn't fit in. I've never been popular. I've never, had a large group of friends. My circle has always been very small. And to some people that hurts, or it causes issues like, why does nobody like me, or why can't I ever fit in, or why am I so different? And for me, I embraced it early on. I embraced it in middle school. I embraced it in high school. I never sought out to be popular. I just always sought out people who were like me, or people who could at least understand me. And I could only find, a handful, 1, 2, and it was okay. I was okay with that. And just seeing that growing up, seeing that in college, seeing just a bunch of different people being okay with being different really helped me to embrace myself and to love myself and to know that it's okay to be unique and it's okay to be yourself and it's okay to be different, and that you don't have to fit in. And so, not that I've ever strived to fit in, but if that is something that you're doing, stop. Really, really just stop trying to fit in and start trying to be yourself. And that leads to the next question of, what do you feel the most important aspect of self-love is? And for me, that is embracing your flaws and your shadow self. Yes, it is super easy to love all the good parts about yourself, the sexy parts, the cute parts, all of those things, but it requires work to love the things that you don't like about yourself. It requires work to love the dark parts of yourself. However, it's not until you embrace your dark side, until you embrace your flaws, that you completely love yourself. For the longest, I struggled with my height. I am 6'1" tall. I didn't like to wear heels because when I went out, I would tower over everybody. It's hard for me to find clothes. I didn't fit into this society's mold of this cute little petite woman. Tall men didn't like me. Short men didn't like me. Short women didn't like me because they wanted to be tall. I couldn't find other tall women like me. And I struggled with that for a very long time. And while I never wanted to fit in mentally and emotionally, like physically, I wanted to fit in. Physically, I wanted to shrink so that I could fit into the crowd and kind of hide. It's kind of hard to hide when you're 6'1". But I wanted to shrink and hide and go be in the corner. And a lot of that has to do with my introverted personality. I don't like to stand out in the crowd. I really, really desperately like to kind of blend in. And it really wasn't until I embraced my height that I could truly, and completely love myself and not even embrace my height. For the longest, I hated taking pictures. Don't ask me why. I'm beautiful. I'm cute as fuck. But I hated how I looked in pictures. I hated hearing my voice. So you can get me to do, a video or an audio and look at me now. I hated wearing glasses for a long time. I wore contacts for the longest, and I hate wearing contacts now because they're the bane of my existence. But, I embraced all of these things about myself. Surprisingly, I wanted to be dark skinned. I won't get into the whole light skin, dark skin thing and how one is more privileged than the other. But I did. I desperately wanted to be dark skinned. I wanted more melanin because I felt like being light skinned made me less black. And also, I really desperately wanted other people to stop hating on me because I am fine as fuck and people are jealous because I'm fine as fuck. And I don't know, like, people thought that I was all of that. And I don't. I never thought that. But apparently I walk around with like this air that I think I'm all of that until you get to know me and you get to know like this really shy, quiet, down to earth person. But I think a lot of it was attributed to the fact that I'm light skinned, and so I wanted to be dark skinned so that I could, one, be more black, and two, maybe kind of fit in more, and people would think that I was more down to earth. And one time for Daddy Shiva, because he's always teaching me something on the low, but just learning that your melanin or your blackness is not attributed to the color of your skin. That really helped me to overcome that whole wanting to be darker. I am black. I'm black as fuck. And I'm okay with that. And being black has nothing to do with the phenotype or the outward appearance of my melanin, but the genotype or the fact that melanin is present and running through me. And so that really, really helped me to embrace myself and helped me to accept myself. And those are just the tip of the iceberg of the shadow work that I've had to do to love myself and to embrace myself. And it's a continual thing because as you go deeper and deeper and deeper into your shadow self, you find things that you need to work on and things that you need to accept about yourself, whether it's the color of your skin, whether it's the shape of your nose, the shape of your lips, your weight, your size, just whatever. Like, you have to embrace those things and accept those things. And no, I'm not saying that it's okay to be unhealthy. But it is okay to understand that this is a condition and something that you have to work on, and to love yourself through the process. Because hating yourself or hating that side of yourself or not liking that about yourself is not going to make the process easier. It's counterproductive to the work that you have to do. And so the next question that comes up in the workbook is, do you honestly love yourself? Right now, just take a moment and think. Do you love yourself? And I can say yes, that I love myself. I am amazing. I am talented. I am gifted. I am me. I deserve love. I deserve love. You deserve love. Every single human being on this planet deserves love, regardless of their race, their religion, their sexuality, their nationality, their gender. Every single person deserves love. And that starts with loving yourself. Because when you love yourself, then you know and you can set the expectation of love that you're willing to accept from others. So just take that minute and look and within yourself and answer that question. Do you really, honestly, truly have unconditional love for yourself? And if you need to pause the video to sit with that, then go ahead and join us back. And then the next question is, what do you love about yourself? And I really listed just a couple of things. But my biggest things that I love are my skin, my hair, my size, my personality, my giving heart, my sassy attitude, 'cause yes, I'm a sassy bitch. My smile, my outlook on life, my drive, my free spirit, my gifts. Just there's so much. Again, I am amazing. I am wonderful. And I love me. And so when it comes to why I love these things about myself, that's very simple. It's simply because they make me who I am. They separate me from you. They separate me from my son. They separate me from the girl next door. They separate me from people across the country. I value uniqueness. I value difference. And yes, we are all interconnected, but no, we are not all the same. We are individual people. Yes, even you twins out there, you are your own person. And so I value that. And the reason that I love myself so much is because I am different and I embrace that I am different. And I want nothing more than for you all to do the same. And so now, what don't you like about yourself? And it's funny because there's only one thing that's listed on here that I still kind of am working on right now that I can think about. And that's my height. I'm still struggling with it. Yes, I will wear heels, and yes, I will be 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" when I do so. But I still struggle with my height, and it's more so a struggle because it's hard for me to find clothes. Like, I'm like, I can't be cute and I can't wear the cute clothes because I'm too tall. But it's a struggle that I continue to work with. Maybe one day I will be able to afford for somebody to actually make me some clothes and I'll get over that, or I'll learn how to make clothes myself because I just recently bought myself a sewing machine. And so maybe I will get over this whole height thing, but for right now, I can still be honest with myself and say that is something that I'm still working on. And that is the key, is to be able to list the things that you don't like about yourself and to be able to work on those things. It's like that should be your to-do list of things to work on your journey for self-love. And again, I advise doing this workbook once a quarter, or once a season, just to see like how that list changes, because right now it might be my height and I may do this 3 months later and it could be something else, and that gives me something else to work on. And the next question is, what is your definition of beauty? And this is where I'm going to get into kind of that pre-programmed societal way of thinking about things. And so my definition of beauty is the confidence to be yourself. Beauty is inside. Beauty is the way that you treat other people, the love that you treat other people. Beauty is agape love. Beauty is not the physical. Beauty has nothing to do with your skin color, your skin tone, your size, your shape, your outward appearance. It has nothing to do with that. Beauty has everything to do with your personality, your spirit, your aura, how you are as a person. I don't care what size you are. I don't care what color you are. As long as you are pure here, you're beautiful. You are a beautiful spirit. You are a beautiful human being. You do not have to look like the model on the TV. You do not have to look like the other girl walking down the street. You don't have to have big titties. You don't have to have all the ass. You don't have to have all the hips. You don't have to be curvy. You don't have to be straight. You don't have to be light. You don't have to be dark. You don't have to have kinky hair. You don't have to have straight hair. You don't have to have light eyes. You don't have to have dark eyes. You don't have to have straight teeth. You are beautiful as long as your spirit and your insides are beautiful and pure. That is beauty. Not the shit you see on TV, not the shit you see in movies, on the billboards. That is not beauty. Somebody can be physically pretty and be the ugliest motherfucker there is because their soul is nasty. It's not about this. It's about this. That is what beauty is. So when you're looking at your definition of beauty and you're trying to determine if you are a beautiful person, look at how you are on the inside. How do you treat yourself? How do you treat other people? That should help shape what your definition of beauty is. What has most influenced your definition of beauty? And for me, that's easy. It was my mother. I have been teased and told all my life that I look exactly like my mother, that I am my mother's twin, and that you cannot tell us apart. That's funny because I physically look like her. Yeah, we physically look exactly alike. I cannot deny that that is my mother. However, spiritually, inside, like we're two different people. We have two different drives and two different motivations. But she really, really helped me to define what beauty is. Because what she did was she took her external beauty and she used that to drive her and to motivate her and to accept herself. And she made me realize that everybody can be beautiful. My mother is not small. And no, my mom is not big. Like, my mother is not obese or overweight. My mother, however, is not a small person. She, like me, is tall. She's about 5'11". And my grandmother is the same way. She's 5'10", 5'11". And even my great-grandmother, who I was blessed to know, who is Big Mama. Now, she was big. She was big in the sense that she had a special chair that she had to sit in, because she was a big woman. And all of them were so beautiful to me. All of them. Big Mama, Nana, my mother. And I was like, I come from this line of big women who, like, they embraced it and they loved it, and that really helped me to see that beauty was not just like the physical, that it was what was inside, and that the confidence that you have in yourself helps you to become beautiful and helps you to be beautiful and helps you to exude beauty, not the physical appearance, but the outward manifestation of what you have inside is truly what beauty is about. And do I feel like I'm beautiful? Of course I am. If I wasn't, I wouldn't be doing this video. But yeah, I really do think that I'm beautiful, and I want you to sit with that question and think, do you honestly feel that you are beautiful? And why do you think that you're beautiful? Or if you don't think you're beautiful, then why not? I want you to sit with that. But I also want you to sit with the why behind it. Because this gets into the pre-programming or the programming or the mental slavery that society has us in, because society will have you thinking that you're not beautiful because society wants you to buy into their definition of beauty. Society will have you thinking that beauty is physical so that you can continue to spend your money trying to be physically beautiful. And don't get me wrong, there is nothing wrong with buying makeup. There's nothing wrong with people who get weight loss surgery. There is nothing wrong with anything that you do to alter your physical appearance, as long as you are doing it for you. Not because you're trying to fit into some mold or some belief that society has put into your head. If you are overweight and you need weight loss surgery because your weight is detrimental to your health and you've tried almost everything else, then yes, do it. Do it. I get up in the morning and I put on my eyeliner and I put on my makeup and I put on my accessories because it makes me feel good. I don't do it to attract these knuckleheads out here. I do it for me because that's me and my definition of, oh, I want to look good. That helps make me feel sassy. So it's feeding into my inner beauty, but I'm not doing it to look good for someone else. I'm doing it for me. I don't have to be a size 6. I don't have to be a size 0. If I want to walk around with my gut hanging out and that makes me feel good, then that's fine for me. Do what feels good for you. Do what makes you feel beautiful on the inside. If you want to perm your hair, perm your hair. Look, I understand that everybody's all in this natural hair movement. I get it. If you want to walk around with your natural hair, walk around with your natural hair. Either way is beautiful. Do what is best for you and don't fit into what is the it thing and the in thing for society. Because guess what? You're being controlled and manipulated by society to think these things. And you have to break free. You have to decide and create these definitions for you. These should be your personal definitions, not what society or someone else have told you they should be. That's why I have not spent the last 43 minutes reading to you a definition off of a website or a definition out of a book or telling you what that definition should be. The only thing that I can do is give you my definition and how I came to that definition for myself and tell you to go out and do the same thing for yourself. Define these things for yourself. Erase the programming that has been put into your head and define these things for yourself. Now I'm going to talk about this whole I hate men, I hate women things. Like that all falls into this whole definition of love and self-love and beauty and all of these other things, because just like society has been programming you to think one way about love and to think one way about beauty, society has been programming our people especially for millennia. We have been programmed, and even though they took the physical chains off of us, they still have mental chains around us. And guess what? Those mental chains aren't just for us Black people. There are mental chains on white people too. Because the racism and the classism and all of the other isms that are out there are mental chains that have been placed on you to keep you thinking a certain way, to keep society a certain way, to keep the tension a certain way. Because think about it. Do we really, really, really want a balanced society? Is that what we really want? And when I say we, I'm talking about the government or corporations or Big Brother. That'll fit. But is that what Big Brother really wants? Do we really want, like, everybody to be happy and unified and together and loving? Is that what we really want? Because think about it. For real, where does our money come from? Where does our money stem from? Where do we make the most money from? War and controversy. So as long as there's war going on, and as long as there's controversy between groups of people, there's money to be made. So they will continue to manufacture controversy and wars to have money. So no, we don't want Black people and white people to like each other. We want that controversy to continue, because then we can control what they think, what they do, how they act. We don't want men and women to really, truly love each other. Because guess what? It can cost you, for real, if you just go into the courthouse to get married, a marriage certificate is $50-something. The cheapest divorce I've seen is $500. So do we really want people to know what love is? Do we really want these marriages that are lasting for lifetimes? No, because that doesn't make money. It's all about the money. So we're going to manufacture, Jesus, I can't say that word today. Manufacture, there we go, hate between our men and our women, so that they can go through these cycles of relationships. Because I don't want no nigga that's broke. I don't want no nigga that live with his mama. I don't want no nigga that don't have no education. I don't want no nigga that's been in jail. All these niggas ain't shit. Nobody wants that. But you can't see how society has made this man this way. Society has locked up this man. Society has made it hard for this man to get an education. Society has removed this man's ability to emote He doesn't even know how to emote because he's been told all of his life that men are not allowed to have emotions. Men are not allowed to show emotions. Men are not allowed to cry. So when they get emotions, they don't know what to do with them, so they run. Society has made it okay for men to cheat. Because it's okay for a man to do it, but it's not okay for a woman to do it. But then society has also said that monogamy is the only real way to be in a relationship when not everybody's meant to be monogamous. But you see how they've programmed us and set us up for failure? Because women is bitches and women is hoes and women is sluts and women sleep around ain't good. And women are not allowed to be sexual. And a man don't want a woman who do those things. Because society says so. But it's funny because you want to marry the wholesome chick, but you gonna cheat on her with the bitch who know how to twerk on your dick and do tricks. Because you want those things, but society says that your wife should not be able to do those things. You see how you're being programmed and controlled? Stop it. If you want a woman who spit on your dick and swallow it and gargle it and take it up the ass and whatever, marry that bitch. Excuse me. But marry what you want. Don't marry what society say you should marry. If you're gay, bisexual, transsexual, whatever, it's okay. Be you, boo. It is okay. Be yourself. But we gotta stop this bickering and this back and forth and this I hate and I don't like and I need and placing all of these conditions on love and the people that we love. And we need to help each other. We absolutely have to help each other get out of this programming. That's why I'm doing these videos. That's why I do what I do, because I'm trying to erase the programming. I don't even want to say wake y'all the fuck up because I'm tired of using wake and woke and all this shit, but I want y'all to snap out of it. If a man is being good to you, if a man is being good to your spirit, fuck everything else. Because guess what? If you remove the ego out of the situation and balance the ego, that means men, let people help you. Stop letting your ego get in the way from receiving the help that is there for you. And women, help. Shit. And yes, I know that y'all, we've been doing it and we've been helping and we've been and da-da-da-da. And yes, keep doing it. Because guess what? Ain't nobody else gonna do it for them. And they don't know how to do it for themselves because they haven't been taught, because society keeps saying that men are supposed to be this rigid person and they're supposed to be strong and they're supposed to be the providers and they're supposed to take care of everything and they're not supposed to be emotional. So they don't know about emotions, so you need to teach them. Because how else are they going to know if you don't teach them? And you will not sit up here and say, well, that's their mama job. Guess what, bitch? As the divine feminine, you're everybody's mama. And that's just me being real. Teach them how to love. Teach the men how to feel. Allow them the space to be vulnerable. Accept them for who they are. Accept them where they are and give them the space to grow. We have to help our men. We have to love our men instead of saying all men are dogs and complaining about men and complaining about how they're treating women and complaining about what they are and what they aren't doing. They don't know any better. And I'm not making an excuse. They honestly don't know any better. So we must teach them. Men, stop talking about all women as hoes. And stop hanging on to the woman that hurt you back in middle school. Matter of fact, stop hanging on to the last woman that hurt you. Let that hurt go, boo. Let it go. Let it go. Everybody is not the same. All women are not the same. When you learn how to properly emote, when you learn all of these different emotions and how to healthily express these emotions, being in relationships will be easier. When you learn how to take the lesson that the relationship was supposed to give you and move on, it will be easier. But first, you gotta let go. Let go of all the old shit. Find you a woman that resonates with you. Find you that feminine energy that resonates with you. And let that energy love the shit out of you. Let that energy raise your vibrations. Let that energy teach you. Let the help in. Give the woman the space to be vulnerable. Give the woman the space to be herself. Give her the freedom to be sexually herself, free, vulnerable. Stop judging her for wanting to be a sexual human being. We are all sexual. Every single last one of us. I might hurt your feelings and say, think about what your mama did when she made you. You got here some kind of way. Everybody is sexual. It is okay for women to express their sexuality. Stop calling them hoes and sluts and bitches and everything else in the book because she wants to be sexually free. And stop getting mad if she don't want to do that with you because you're limiting her. Your fault. We have got to love one another. We have got to help one another. We have got to stop all of this at each other. Got to stop it because that's what society wants. Society will continue to mentally entrap us and mentally enslave us and have us doing what they want to do as long as we're at each other's throats. As long as we feel like it's not our job. As long as we feel like we're not deserving. As long as all men are dogs and all women are hoes, society is winning. Society is controlling us. Society got us programmed. So, love bugs, my question is, what are we going to do? Are y'all going to continue to bicker at each other? Or are y'all going to join me in trying to unite us so that we can get the fuck off this planet? That is my time this morning. I love y'all. Deuces.